I'm making a list right now of all the places that I want to visit later today in Seattle. These are places that have shaped me. I've lived here my entire life and got a lot of memories here. So, I don't know, it just feels really important to visit some of these places, especially places that I haven't gone to in a long time, and say goodbye. So I just pulled up to my childhood house, and I'm so glad my dad's not alive to see this. It would have broken his heart. Actually, my mom too. He bought this house in 1967, I want to say. He was the second owner. The builder was the first owner in the house. It was a fairly new house at the time. He bought for $18,000. Boeing moved him here from Chicago. He was working for Raytheon as an engineer, and he was recruited by Boeing. And at the time, there were still racial covenants in Seattle. And as a Japanese American, he wasn't able to purchase homes where his colleagues lived. I ended up growing up in South Seattle, and at the time, it was a very diverse neighborhood. It obviously still is. This is the zip code 98118. At one time, it was listed as the most diverse zip code in the U.S. And there are a lot of working families here. As far as I recall, my dad was the only one with a college degree that lived on our block that I knew of. Many of my friends that grew up around here, they didn't make it. I know a few went to jail. Some have passed away because of drugs or violence. And one girlfriend of mine that I'm in contact with now, she went to college, she got her master's. I went to law school. Another friend of mine that lived here is doing okay as well, two of them, as far as working and families. But we were the lucky ones to get out of here. I hesitate to show you this neighborhood in the house because it does look a lot different than when I grew up. When I grew up, it looked a lot more middle class, even though it was lower middle class. And quite frankly, it's heartbreaking. The street that I used to have tricycle races on with my best friend, or at the time, and when my two best friends at the time. And here's my corner house. Like I said, it looks a lot different. My dad used to garden out here all of the time, and it looks a lot different. This is the grade school that I attended kindergarten and first grade at. My parents took me out of this school for 2nd through 8th grade. I attended a private Lutheran school for those years. And a lot of parents took their kids out of school around this time because Seattle went into mandatory busing, which meant kids from the South End, the more impoverished area of Seattle where I was from, would be bused to the North End where wealthier kids, white kids, went to school, and vice versa. So at one point, I don't know if this is still true, Seattle had the most private schools per capita because of busing. It was during civil rights, and as I traveled the U.S. in 2023, I tried to visit a lot of civil rights museums, and I was surprised at how innovative Seattle was at the time and how it was such a big thing on a national stage to have mandatory busing to integrate kids from the lower income, typically racial minority areas of a city with the white upper class areas of the city. I personally, as a person who grew up in this time, even when my parents switched schools for me, I feel like it was a success, at least as far as helping us understand one another. But people have different opinions on that. In fact, in my book, A Table for 51, I spoke to a friend of mine who was one of the first white kids from the north end of Seattle to be bused down here to the south end of Seattle. But here it is. It's hard to see. It's all kind of gated up. Hey, just arrived at the church that I was married at. It is considered the wedding church. At least that's what it was called at the time, because so many people got married here because the backdrop is this beautiful green scenery, which you will not see today. In fact, today is Sunday and there's a lot of people around here. So I am just going to step out of my car and take a picture of the sign. But the weird thing is, I wouldn't have been able to find this place but for Google Maps, because I actually haven't been back since I got married. So, okay, quick picture of the sign. So when I moved into this rental, I didn't know how long I'd be in this temporary space. But I knew to make this space feel like home, I needed to bring friends into it. So I got this guest book, and I have had everyone who's come through sign my guest book, and I've taken Polaroid pictures of them. I moved in here May of 2024, and it's now July of 2025. And I counted, and I've had 58 friends come through. We've laughed, we've drank good wine, and I'm just so thankful for all of the people who've helped me make this place feel like home. You know, it wasn't the easiest year, but with friends, you kind of could do anything. So sometimes, even with the best planned journey, life takes you on different roads. That was today. I had this all planned out. I even invited my daughter to come with me. She's 25. And I was going to show her all these places in Seattle where I had these great memories. Maybe my first dance, my first kiss, where I threw birthday parties or had birthday parties. I mean, things of happy, fun significance. But traffic was really bad today. Highways in Seattle were closed today. There's a Mariner game, so I ended up on different roads than planned, which led me to my childhood home, one of my 4 high schools that I attended, the first place that her dad and I rented in our 20s, and the church that we got married in. It was good for me to go back to those places because it showed me how far I've come. And the definition of confidence is no matter what life throws your way, you can handle it. And today, I was reminded by that it couldn't be more timely, because now I feel really confident. I'm ready to take on Dallas. Okay, Dallas, I'm coming for you. I'm ready to embrace my new chapter. This is my new beginning. Subscribe and come along with me.